Good day everyone, welcome back to Am I the A-hole subreddit, a place to help people find out if they were wrong in an argument that's been bothering them. With both sides of the story, we're going to find out if they're right or they're the a-hole. With no further ado, let's get orgasm with rKush. The first story of today's video was posted by Wita0Throwaway. Will I be the a-hole for telling my mom she's an a-hole for a baby name choice? My 20 female mom, 40 female, got into a serious relationship about 2 years ago. She found out she's pregnant and she just found out it's a girl. She already has 4 kids, me and my brothers, and this baby will have a 19-year gap between my younger brother and her. So it's a complete miracle baby for her and her partner. He's a widower with 2 kids, 17 male and 15 male. His wife battled with a very onset Parkinson's, I think that's the term, and she passed away 4 years ago. It had been such a struggle for her, but she knew it was coming and she knew her husband, 36 male, 32 at the time, would eventually find someone else to love. So she wrote a no-no list of names that they had chosen for their children that they would now never have. My mom was aware of the list, but she didn't know the actual names on the list until she found out she was pregnant. I'm her only daughter and they named me after my father's grandmother. My mom, however, wants to name their daughter this cool name she has read in some book. It's a name I don't hear too often anymore, like Marigold or Adelaide. It's common enough that you hear it and are like, wow, old lady name, but not so common that it's back in fat. The problem is that it is the deceased mother's name and on the no-no list. The list is only 6 names total, 3 per gender, and the name is at the top of the list. My mom is insisting on choosing the name anyway, saying it's a character in the book she likes. Her boyfriend is much more against the name, offering up a lot of good names that are similar in style but just not that specific one since he wants to honor his late wife's wishes. My mom has been complaining to me about it and I think she's in the wrong here. I understand this is like a second chance for her to name her daughter, a miracle baby in her eyes, but the dude's wife has only 6 names she didn't want to be picked, and she happened to pick the most important one. I want to tell her she's wrong and would be an a-hole for picking the name, but I also feel like I might be crazy. My brothers all think it's fine and most of our extended family agree that, while it is a little awkward, it's a name she likes. It feels like I'm in the minority on my side of the family, and my mom keeps complaining to me and trying to coerce my opinion on it out of me. Would I be the a-hole? Guys, what's the verdict? To me, NTA, not the a-hole. When naming a baby, you have to find something both parents can live with. The mom would be the a-hole if she forces her boyfriend to be reminded of breaking his late wife's wishes every day for the rest of his life. Our next Reddit post was from Refuse to Help. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give any more money to my dad after finding out he's bought a house for my brother? My dad stopped working because of health problems a few years ago due to his work. He went to court and sued the place where he worked and got a settlement. Don't know the exact number, but it was somewhere over 400k. He wanted to save that money for the future since he can't do much physically and it would be hard for him to work again. Myself, 32 male, and my 4 brothers started pitching in monthly to help with his rent and a few other bills. It wasn't a problem for any of us because he does receive other benefits and we earn a decent income. I never minded helping my dad, understanding the position he was in. Recently, we learned my dad has been helping my brother. He's the oldest out of all of us and has never done anything with himself. He was close to 30 when my mom kicked him out of their house due to him refusing to help with bills before she passed. He moved out of state, works at a new place every few months, had 3 kids he doesn't pay child support for, and anytime we hear from him is to ask us for money. My dad always had a soft spot for him and helped him no matter how much he asked for. Even if it's 5k he said he needed to catch up on rent that he ends up using to take a girlfriend on vacation. We've all cut him out of our lives, but I learned from my aunt that my dad purchased a house for him over a year ago and he didn't want us to know about it. My dad still makes the mortgage payments. To say I was very pissed was an understatement. I couldn't believe all this time we were helping my dad out because he claimed he didn't want to use too much of that money due to not working. But here he was purchasing a house for our brother who's done nothing but takes money. I confronted my dad. His usual defense was my brother being down on his luck and needing help. So in the end, I told my dad I won't be helping out with him anymore so he has no problem using up his money. My brothers know about the situation. One agrees with me, but the others are getting on my case because my dad still needs help and I can't turn my back on him. Even if I don't agree with what he's using his money for, we should still help because he's our dad and he did a lot for us. So now I'm not so sure if I'm being an a-hole by pulling the plug on helping him out anymore. Alright guys, what's your take on this? To me, not the a-hole because this guy aren't helping out his dad, he's helping out his brother. His dad's just the middleman. Our next story of today's video was posted by WC Strawberry Field. Am I the a-hole for suggesting my wife take our kids strawberry picking when she's allergic to strawberries? My kids are dying to go strawberry picking at the local produce farm. I was going to try and take them, but I'm an ICU nurse and I work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. And on weekends, I'm so tired I can hardly move. I've been trying to get my wife to take them, but she refuses because she's allergic. The thing about her allergy is it only takes effect if she eats a strawberry. She can hold strawberries, she can breathe in their scent, she can touch them, and she doesn't suffer anaphylaxis. She just gets a rash that goes away with Benadryl within a day. So she refuses to take them for that reason. The thing is, the kids are cooped up all day long. They're doing online homeschool from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. and after their school day is over, they can either play in the house or the yard because my wife won't take them anywhere. My wife is an extreme introvert and homebody, and her idea of a great day is sitting on our covered porch with a book or a sketch pad and a cup of coffee. My wife can easily spend an entire day in the same spot on the porch. She hates bugs, she hates dirt, she hates plants. When I take the kids on our annual hike and camp trip over the summer, she refuses to go. The kids always miss her and wish she'd go with us to share the experience. So I'm at work right now and my son called me and asked if we're going berry picking this weekend. Unfortunately, I'm going to be stuck all weekend at the hospital because we've got 2 nurses out sick and someone needs to be there to take care of people and I'm a head nurse, so I need to be there. I told him to put mom on the phone and I tried to convince her to take them today. It's a gorgeous day. She said she was just sitting with a book and some Netflix and the kids were playing a board game. I asked her why she couldn't take them. She said she didn't want to be around the berries in case she gets a rash. I told her there was plenty of Benadryl in the house and we have latex surgical gloves in our bathroom first aid kit that she could wear and she doesn't even have to touch the berries if she doesn't want to. But come on, just take the kids. They are bored and unhappy. She told me I was being a douchebag and trying to kill her. And if I cared about her at all, I wouldn't try to get her to do this. She hung up on me and hasn't returned my calls. I'm taking a 5-minute bathroom break to create an account here and post this to get some opinions. Am I the a-hole? Well, my opinion is this. Your kids' feelings should override your own feelings. If someone's going to place themselves over their kids all the time, they shouldn't be having kids. Our next Reddit post was from Blues Resture. Am I the a-hole for inviting my sister to live with me across the country after my parents tried to charge her rent at 18? My sister is 18 and she's finishing her senior year of high school. She's finishing remotely. My parents decided to start charging her $550 rent plus utilities on her 18th birthday. Around this time, I went from working at home to returning to the office. I offered my sister my spare room that I'd been using as an office to live in for free, but she was too proud to accept it for free. So I said $200 a month, since I thought it was ridiculous that our parents were trying to get so much cash of a high school kid. I'm not telling her this since I want to give it as a gift, but I'm gonna put the money she gives me in savings for paying for her trade school classes after high school. Anyway, my parents got really mad that I'm moving their high school daughter cross country from New York to Colorado before she's even finished high school. That if she lives in Colorado with me, she's not gonna be responsible enough to go to a trade school like she was telling the family she was planning after high school, and that I was ruining her future. They're also worried that the school will have issues with them as parents if their kid is living in a different state and not in the school district during the last bit of senior year. I told them that if they wanted to treat her like she's all grown and charge her rent and utilities, then why are they getting mad when she does something like an adult? And she says she can handle things with the school, so let her do that as an adult. My parents are really mad at me and says I'm ruining her life. Am I the a-hole for letting my sister move in with me even though she's still in high school? They're mad you're moving their high school daughter away? They were going to charge her high school daughter $550 a month. Sounds like they're mad they're not getting that money. Not the a-hole, you're a good sister or brother. The next story of today's video was posted by Hot Mama 1230. Am I the a-hole for taking my sister to the hospital? My 27 female sister, 25 female, moved in with her boyfriend, 20-something male, around 8 months ago. Since then, we don't see her unless she needs something. She mentioned to our mother and me that she hadn't had a period in a while and this was somewhat normal for her because she had irregular cycles. We saw her Monday after I had surgery and noticed that she had quite a noticeable baby bump. We asked her how far along she was and she told us that she didn't know because she hadn't been to a doctor. At this point, nobody knew anything about her being pregnant because we could never get her on the phone and they were never home. I asked her why she hadn't been to the doctor and she said that it was because they never had gas money. They always have money to go to friends' houses or to buy cigarettes but never to go to the doctor. Today, she came over to help me with my kids and I with the help of our dad. managed to talk her into going to the hospital to get seen. We go to the hospital and she gets checked out. We spend a few hours sitting with our thumbs up our butts, waiting on ultrasound, and her boyfriend calls, asking where she is and when she'll be home. He tells him where she is and he blows up at her, calling her inconsiderate, selfish, self-centered, and a B-word. Then he turns on me and tells me that I robbed him of finding out the gender and being there for her first appointment, like he didn't have plenty of opportunities to do this. Words are exchanged and he calls me a heartless, selfish B-word for doing this, and I'm the reason why he cannot trust her and why their relationship is falling apart. Baby and mom are fine and she's due within the next month, and she has had zero prenatal care up until this point. Here's why I think I may be the a-hole. Nobody told him we were going. I could have gone and gotten him so he could be there too. I could have encouraged her to let him know and keep him in the loop at the very least. But I didn't because he and my husband got into it over her coming to help me. Boyfriend's logic is that he doesn't want her around strangers. I'm her sister and she's known by my husband for 10 plus years, and he wants to be around to make sure nobody does anything to hurt her. He accused my husband of being a pedophile because he helped our potty training daughter to go to the bathroom and then accused me of the same thing. After all, I breastfeed, so I wanted nothing to do with him at all. This has caused some issues and he's taking my sister's phone so we cannot talk. I haven't spoken to her since I took her home. I did offer her to stay with us for a few days so they could have some time away from each other so he could calm down, but she refused. He screens my calls and sends me and any of our other family members straight to voicemail. He flat out told me he isn't going to allow her to come to my house anymore since I wanted to take this precious moment from him. Am I the a-hole? The sister is in an abusive relationship with a controlling narcissist. Of course not the a-hole. Please help her see that she needs to get away from him. Now to the last story of today's video, posted by Swipes and Yups. Am I the a-hole for not tipping at the bar but trying to come back later to make up for it? I was at the neighborhood bar and my card declined. It had enough money but not sure why it declined, so I used my girlfriend's card. We do that sometime as long as receipts are kept and we trust enough to pay back. The bill was 22 and I wanted to tip 5, but this money isn't technically mine, so I didn't feel comfortable spending more than the bill with money from an account that wasn't mine. But I remember I have a €5 in my apartment around the block. I plan to come back with the €5. No harm, no foul. Less money out of her account. More symbolism in a relationship that I don't want to take advantage of finances. The bartender saw me write 00 and responded with, "Can I ask you why you didn't leave a tip?" I tried explaining the situation, but every time I spoke, I was met with an interruption of different words with the same high level of sarcasm. "Oh yeah, it's just how I earn a living. No, I'm just working back here, busting my butts all night, but no tip? It's fine. This is just literally how I make a living, but don't leave a tip. Fine." The music was loud, but his sarcastic tone was licks high and non-stop. It wasn't like he was brushing me off either. He looked me in the eye and said this. And the more I tried to explain, he just shook his head, shrugged, or whatever. Plus, he saw my first card declined and saw the second card was a different name. You'd think he believed me then. I'm not a daily regular, but I go about once a month so I can see that he maybe didn't recognize me. At that point, he walked away and I left with a copy. The overall experience was meh. The bartenders were hardworking, but the drink was meh. The bouncer was an a-hole and the outdoor heaters didn't work at all. I did genuinely want to come back to the tip, but his whole attitude just left a bad taste in my mouth. I know bartenders depend a lot on tips and I'm honestly not one to skip out on that, and had full intention of coming back during a closing hour and explaining again and no harm done. But I felt like he overreacted greatly and I honestly don't want to go back there at all ever again anymore. So do you think he overreacted or was his reaction justified? The answer for this is obvious. Not the a-hole. Tip is for good service, not a reward for an attitude of a teenager. And that brings me to the end of our video today. Hope you reach your eargasm with rKush. Good day everyone.